My name's Zio, and we need to talk. No, not about the latest NGS drama, dear God, no. Hey, at least we're not fighting over a chair, right? Well, not yet at least. I'm talking about a little something called class identity. I asked my friends in the community what they thought this meant to them, and if they felt connected or invested in their class of choice. And holy shit, you folks did not disappoint. I received a pretty wide range of responses on this one. Some of you felt this centered around each class's toolkit, including their weapons. Some of you felt this idea was iffy in the case of NGS, especially since it isn't your traditional Holy Trinity game. Some felt that it was something that others come to associate you with. Some of you said yes, you do feel invested in your class of choice. Others said no. I learned real quick who the real Gunblade fans were, that's for sure. In all fairness though, I realize this is a rather esoteric concept. To me, it goes beyond mere gameplay. Yes, that side is important, but there's more to it than just the set of weapons and what buttons they push. So if I am going to play an online RPG, painstakingly make a character and sink tons of hours into it, I want to feel like I'm a part of that world, including the tools I use to navigate its challenges. This is another facet of class identity.
But yeah, just play that class around all the time. The class is ministry.
Yes, I realize this is a tricky one considering you can switch classes at will and experience the entire scope of the game on a single character. I'm going to point out two examples here, and you can probably guess which ones, at least one of them. Final Fantasy XI and Final Fantasy XIV. This is where both games really shine. Now granted, the writing for some of these quest lines might be hit or miss, but it's there nonetheless. I went with these two games because I've had the most experience with them over the years. I've played both on and off over the years at different stages of their respective life cycles. Final Fantasy XI had quests that rewarded armor that could only be worn by a specific job. This was called Artifact Armor, and it was made to look like jobs from the older Final Fantasy titles. You see the red mage here with its iconic pimp hat like in FF1. Every job had a quest line that awarded you pieces of this stuff. These stories would introduce you to prominent users of these jobs. Let me give you an example here. I'm going to use one of my favorite jobs in the game, the Blue Mage. Blue Mages are these alchemically engineered super soldiers that got stronger by absorbing the essences of the monsters they defeated. But if they weren't careful with this, they could turn into monsters themselves. And if that happens, you ain't coming back. The Blue Mage's artifact armor, the Magus attire, is said to attenuate that, but that's not an actual gameplay mechanic. I just thought that interesting since one of the armor pieces improves your chances of learning spells. I loved how that aspect made you feel like you were on that journey with leveling up and gathering spells. That's enough gushing about Final Fantasy XI. So what does this have to do with NGS? This is something I feel NGS is missing in terms of world building. If I'm going to take the time to learn a particular class, I want to know how it fits into the world. I want to know how the martial traditions of Halpha's ARKS evolved over time. I want to know how each class came to favor their particular weapons. Like Techter, for instance. I want to know how their battle cleric fighting style came into being. And who are some prominent figures in that community who made them who they are? We're talking what, 500 plus years? You would think there'd be records of that stuff by now, but maybe they were lost somehow. So, if you enjoyed this, well, you know what to do. As always, thank you so much for watching and for the continued support. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. And remember, to thine old self be true. Until next time, farewell.